The most successful entrepreneurs don't have fewer problems than you. They have better focus. While average performers obsess over what's wrong, top performers count their blessings and build momentum from what's right. Your focus determines your future, not your circumstances. What are you choosing to see? Right now, you're probably mentally cataloging everything that's broken, behind schedule, or underperforming in your business, while completely overlooking the dozens of things that are actually working well. Neuroscience research from UCLA shows that deliberately focusing on positive aspects activate differential neural pathways than problem-focused thinking, with gratitude practice increasing dopamine by 23% and improving decision-making quality by over 30% within just 2 weeks. How much mental energy are you spending on what's wrong versus what's right? The problem-obsessed mindset creates a negative feedback loop where constant focus on what's lacking generates stress hormones that impair strategic thinking, ensure you make worse decisions while feeling worse about making them. Entrepreneurs who fail to regularly count their blessings experience higher burnout rates, lower resilience during challenges because they're trained their brains to scan for threats instead of opportunities. Every day you spend fixating on problems without deliberately recognizing progress is another day of programming your neural pathways towards negativity, ensuring you'll miss the momentum-building energy that comes from acknowledging wins, celebrating growth, and recognizing that despite challenges, you've built something worth building on rather than something worth abandoning. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I see who have running spectacular businesses, and most of the time, they're miserable because they haven't achieved what they thought they would. Strategic Coach describes this well by saying it's always the horizon. We're always trying to achieve that horizon, chase that horizon, and never do we look back and see what we've done. I usually take 2 or 3 times a year, and this is one of them, where we spend a little time and look back. Look back and say, what did you accomplish? Add up all of the things that you did to see how far you've come. We are always striving to the next thing and always feeling like we're not ever really getting anywhere. But instead, if we look back, you'll probably be quite astounded about how much you've done and what you've done. I never liked yearly reviews because it never really felt like I was getting anywhere until I started recognizing that yearly reviews are a great way of spending some time to look back and identify your accomplishments and understand how you work, what you did, what worked well, what didn't, because you're always focusing on the stuff that you've got to fix and got to keep going. And you're never focusing on all of the major things that are actually going right. I love statistics. I love sitting back and saying, last year we did 1.3 million words in scripts, and we did over 13,000 Facebook posts and put over 240 hours of video up. That's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot over time. We were cranking out pretty well and the team was working great, but no one looked around and said, hey, let's add it all up. Take a minute. Stop looking at the horizon and look back. Figure out what you've done well. Celebrate that. Make them understand how important it was. During this time when I'm with clients, I actually spend a lot of time with them talking about what their successes were and how different the world looks than it was last year at this time. That kind of reframing is very important for us because the momentum that we find is not from always moving forward, but looking back occasionally and said, yeah, I got a lot done. Now, as you're doing that, that should give you motivation to take a look at what's going next. And I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions and things like that. I'm a big fan of much more achievable things. Everyone's going to have their New Year's resolutions and probably have not already succeeded in them by the time you're watching this. But what happens if you create 1 or 2 goals that you can do in the next quarter? Or 1 goal that you can do in the next month? One thing that could move you just 1%. That's another strategic coach teaching. If you move yourself 1% every quarter, do you know how massive your movement would be? 4% doesn't sound like very much, but multiply that by 10 years, and you've moved your company 50%. Is that 50% of revenue? Is that 50% growth? That's unheard of. So looking back will reassure you you're moving forward and will encourage you to keep finding those horizons. So what I'd suggest is take a minute, get out a piece of paper. Don't do it on your computer. Write down all of your accomplishments. Run the numbers. Figure out how many X and Y. Give yourself some hard statistics to know exactly how well you've succeeded this year. And then you look at it and you say, what's the one thing that can move me 1% in the next quarter? And let me focus on that. It's not really a New Year's resolution. It's a recognition of all the work that we had to do and where we go from here. So do that for me. And if you came with an aha moment, or you figured out something that you're proud of, put it in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation. I look forward to talking to you later.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.